Oh, whoa. Hello? I can't
Hi.
hear there.
Can you? Oh, we can't hear you, Sharon.
I'm here.
Stevie,
I'm
can
here.
we hear
Can
you?
you hear?
Yeah, I hear
I can
Stevie.
hear you. Can you hear
Sharon.
me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I can hear you.
Sharon, I can't hear you.
She said she was sick. She wasn't going to talk much, but I didn't realize she's going to play this on us.
She's gonna silence herself. Donna's in charge.
She's faking it and wants Monique to ask the question.
Well, welcome to Wholesale Hotties, ladies. And I'm here. Our host, Sharon Lee, obviously has laryngitis.
Zoom laryngitis.
I'm Yonda Molinex, and then our other co-host is Monique Fell, and our guest today is Stevie Brown. Hi, Stevie. Stevie's
Hi,
been
ladies.
a friend of mine, and we just want to know about your real estate adventure, Stevie, and what got you into real estate, and how long you've been doing it, and give us a good scoop on everything about you.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. Yes, Donda's been a friend of mine. Actually, we've done some business together as well.
Yes.
So I'm excited that you guys have asked me to join you. What started me in real estate? That is quite the story. I actually was on sick leave from my job. I was vice president of sales and operations of a solar company, and I was looking for an escape. I had been working 70, 80 hours a week, and I had been really sick, and so I was off. And during that time, I took an online Facebook real estate course while I was on sick leave, and I just loved it. And I was like, this is what I want to do, right? My mom had been in real estate investing back in the day, and I just knew that at that point that it was kind of a calling. There were some, I'm not like super religious, but I was definitely raised in the church, and there were some, things that were said that I felt that there were, some God shots in there, right? And I was like, I went to my doctor and I said, I need some more time because this is what I want to do. And I need to figure out how to make it happen. Okay. And so the doctor said, yeah, you do need more time. You are on stroke level blood pressure, how high my blood pressure was. And so she wrote me 30 days off. And I was thinking like all I need, just give me another week so I can kind of figure some things out. And so she gave me 30 days off. And during that time, I just kind of put some things together, and I got the so-called balls to tell my owners of the company that I was leaving. And it was a little bit more than just I'm leaving, I'm out the door, because I helped build this company with these guys, and they were friends of mine. And so, it was kind of a divorce. We had to kind of separate things. I was part owner of the company and things like that. But I knew right then that I kind of burned some bridges. Like, I'm doing this and I got to figure it out. And I have no idea what I'm doing. The course I took, it talked about wholesaling, fix and flip, burrs. I mean, it talked about every strategy possible in a matter of 7 days. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. That's what I want to do. And I was like, okay, well, what exactly am I going to do now that I quit my job, right? And so I proceeded to talk to some people. I knew that I needed to get out there in front of like investor groups and things of that nature. And I was, I'm not a shy person by any means. But I was also nervous because this is a space that I've never been in, right? And so I had to really put myself out there. I decided to look up some decided to look up some investor groups and things of that nature. And I went to some investor meetups. I met some people, and I met somebody, and they said, well, you should take a wholesale course. And so I did. I bought this wholesale course. And before I bought the course, I had looked on some YouTube channels and saw Pace Morby. And I was like, man, I really like this guy. And the lady I was getting ready was talking about the wholesale course. She was an agent, a pretty big agent here in Phoenix area. And she goes, do not buy that course. That guy does not know what he's talking about. You should not buy that course. You should not, follow that guy. Do not do that. And so anyways, I did end up buying the course from her, and the course from her, you could have access to it for like a whole year, right? And so I bought the course from her, and the access ended. They went bankrupt or whatever. These people like dismantled within 4 months. And I'm like, oh, what? I couldn't believe it. So I started following more of Pace and more of Jamil. And then they would have meetups and stuff. So I started going in those meetups and really rubbing elbows. And I thought, well, I'm just going to learn all this stuff through osmosis. And
Right.
I mean, I would literally, guys, if you saw my house, I literally had my entire kitchen. I had it plastered with notes and, whiteboards and, index cards and affirmations and everything, because I had to learn it. There was no going back. And I decided that I was going to be wholesaling. That's what I was going to do. I was going to wholesale. And that's what I tried to do. And at one of these meetups, I met a girl named Susan. And she apparently was on some kind of team. And she said, I don't think these people know what they're doing. And she goes, you seem like you know what you're doing. And I was like, are you talking to me? And so she goes, do you want to work together? And I was like, sure. Yeah. And she seemed like more of an integrator person, and I'm definitely a visionary, And so I was like, okay, I could use this kind of girl,
Right.
And so we started working together, and the first house, we started targeting Florida. And the first house that we were getting ready to get under contract, she goes, I got to tell you, my husband and I had planned this trip to go away. And I'm sorry, they don't allow phones where we're going. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And she goes, they don't. So I will not have access for an entire week. Well, guess what? The LOIs that we had sent out got accepted. And this coach that she had hooked us up with, right, told us that we were going to tell them that in the LOI that you're going to close within 5 days. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 5 days. I think it was my coach actually in this wholesale thing. I think it was my coach. I take that back. Told them we were going to close within 5 days and that it's all cash offer, right, and all this stuff. So the lady told us after we got the contract accepted, of course, who's not going to accept that contract, right? So said, yes, we'll accept it, but we need proof of funds. And I'm like, what is a proof of funds?
And can you explain to those who are listening that maybe don't understand what that is?
Yeah, a proof of funds means that you have the funds to purchase this contract. So you can get proof of funds from a JV partner, a hard money lender, a private money lender, right? And so I was like, I called this agent who supposedly sold me this stupid wholesale thing. Where do I get a proof of funds? Where do I get a proof of funds? And she said, well, just go to besttransactional.com online and they'll print one out for you. So I went there and sure enough, they did. And I sent it to the agent. I was so excited. I was like, that was a close one. Well, the agent calls this best transactional place and the guy goes, no, I've never even talked to them. I'm just a website where people go and print it out online. I don't
Wow.
Oh, no, busted.
I was like crazy, right? So that was kind of like the course start of my real estate thing. Okay. The thing is really cool is that every step I've taken, I learn. Right. Absolutely. But the thing is that I'm still taking the steps. I still take the steps.
Yeah.
It's all about taking the steps. Okay?
Did you get that first deal?
No. That lady, that agent said,
Ask this,
she said,
no.
we're going to go ahead and cancel this contract. We don't have faith that you can close. And I was like, I said, neither do I.
I don't know that I can. So that's right. What a learning lesson, though. You learn from that, right? And you move forward.
Yeah, Susan came back and I was like, I cannot even believe you left, for one thing. you know, real estate's more important than vacations with your husband. I mean, to
No
me.
phone.
That was probably his rule. No phones.
Well, I will say that I'm unlike a lot of other people, and that I have always been a workaholic, which I don't have a really clear work-life balance. And that's not healthy for some people.
Right.
For me, it works. I've always loved what I do. And for me, it works. I love what I do. And I get off on it. I get off on making things happen. I get off on closing deals. I get off on, oh, we got another one. I get off on that. That's fun for me. I do take vacations, but I also work on vacation too, and to some people, they actually unplug. I try to unplug and I do on certain things, but I just can't completely unplug and say, okay, I'm not going to talk work for a week. That does not happen for me. That will never happen for me. I'm just not one of those kind of people. So anyways, That was the start, ladies. That's how it started. So I ended up joining Sub 2 shortly after that. I went to Growth Summit, met some people in Sub 2, the Milanazos, who are leaders out in Colorado. They asked me to join their team. I ended up joining their team and started working on the phones with them, and then started training baby elephants and thought, well, if I'm training baby elephants, maybe I should be in Sub 2. So I joined Sub 2 after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Stevie was one that helped me to talking to agents where how to take and convert them from a no to a yes, or at least a maybe, where they're maybe were very close-minded. She's got really great sales skills. What are kind of some tips that you would kind of maybe share just briefly with people? I know you don't have to go into the whole thing, but it was very helpful for me when you taught me those things.
Well, I think one thing is, and I know I look 29, but I have been in sales for a long time. I will be 59 in October, but I've been in sales all my life. And so I think the thing that Pace even talks about is it's just having a conversation with people, right? It's truly about having a conversation with people. And a lot of people are scared to do that, right? I don't have a fear about talking with anybody. And I think that When someone hears that fear on the other line, they're like, whatever that case may be. But if you go in with total confidence and I love agents. I love getting agents on my side to do business with me.
Right.
Especially now, there's so many properties that are on the market. I don't do a lot of direct to agent business right now. I'm kind of getting ready to go back to it because there's so many properties on the market. But when you talk to an agent and they have their properties on the market and you have so many yahoos calling them, and I hate to say that, there's a lot of them in sub 2 that are yahoos calling them, don't know what they're talking about. They get frustrated. They're tired of it. They're getting hammered by so many calls a day. God, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to do sub 2. People can't explain it. So if you come from it from an empathetic standpoint and just have that kind of, get on their side, have that conversation with them. And then sometimes you get the really rude ones. You got to give back what you are getting too sometimes. But it is just having those conversations. Yes, I love the Milanazos too, John. Absolutely.
So currently, Stevie, you said you don't work with agents. So predominantly, what's your flow? What do you focus on, and what's your system behind that?
So I do work coast to coast. I focus on 50% acquisitions and about 50% dispositions. And my acquisitions are mainly foreclosures. So I am a foreclosure specialist. And so we target foreclosures. We try to help people. Our main focus is to try to help people stay in their homes. I will say that probably 85-90% of them aren't able to do that. And so when they're not able to do that, then they will end up selling it to us, and we'll help find a buyer for that. And then there are those times that we're able to help them stay in their home, which is great. I've got a guy right now that is behind on some of his payments, and I think that we have a really good chance of helping him stay in his home, which is going to be really great. Those are the wins, right? Being able to help people stay in their home. So, the foreclosures is really hard. A lot of people think that might be a really, really easy thing. It's not. It is so not. You work foreclosures for like a year. Donda was, we were able to help a couple keep a foreclosure off their record, right? And be able to get them, Donda and them were able to take over that house creatively. But that couple did not see a foreclosure. That is, in fact, I think probably right now their credit has gone up because of the on-time payments that have been made to their mortgage, which is going to give, in fact, this couple is divorcing, right? And so the good thing is that this couple now, even though they're divorced, right? They now have, because of the on-time payments that have been made to that mortgage, their credit is being repaired, and now they're being able to go on and do things with their credit. But if that house went into foreclosure, they would have had to wait 7 years before they would have been able to start really rebuilding that credit. So we do a lot of things like that that's able to help out a client. The other part of our business is dispositions. So there's a lot of wholesalers out there that will get contracts that are locked up, but don't really know how to find a buyer. And so we're able to find buyers for them. We do have investor lift cartel mode, which It's pretty expensive to have, but we have millions of buyers on Investor Lift. We also have VIP buyers list that we've worked on for a long time, and we do have buyers across the country. We do have our own private community within Sub 2 that affords us the beautiful right to post inside Sub 2, where, there's communities that don't have the quality of buyers that we have in Sub 2. And then we use other platforms to disposition the properties that we JV with on these wholesale dealers. So we do acquisitions and dispositions as well. And we have a team that works coast to coast on those acquisitions and dispositions.
You're doing those are all off market, Stevie?
Yes. Now I will say that I do have I do work with somebody. I have my own company, and then I also work with a partner that sometimes she will bring in properties that are on market, which I'm not a fan of. But we do rarely work with on market properties. Just because if you're a fix and flipper, you can find on market properties. Like we just had a situation out in California where this property is on market for like 900,000 and we have it locked up under 700, close to 750,000, right? The problem is that people can go around you. And then if you have fix and flippers, they don't like on-market properties, because if they go in and fix and flip it, then when they go in and fix and flip it and then they put it back on the market, it shows that that property has been on the market for, say, 6 months, but it actually really hasn't, because once they put it on the market, it's only been on the market for, say, a week or 2 weeks. But since it's been on the market from this agent, right, it shows that it's actually been on the market for like 6 months. So people think that there's something wrong with that house. So there's a lot of things that I don't like about on-market properties, especially when we're selling to investors, because a lot of fix and flippers and investors do not like on-market properties. It's just tough to sell. And a lot of people can go around you and go right to that agent and make a deal and steal that deal out from under you.
True. Very true.
Have you had that experience that's happened to you, Stevie?
Yeah, just that property in California, the one for 750.
They did that to you, huh?
Yeah, it just happened. Yes. Yeah. And unfortunately, you can't put memorandums on those type of deals. And I do lock up deals and I put memorandums on them. I protect my properties as much as I possibly can. But when you have on-market properties like that, you can't file memorandums on them or Liz Pendens on them, because it is with an agent. But I do believe in putting a property under contract and filing a memorandum on it to protect it.
And when you file a memorandum, is that with the county or the city or?
The county, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And is that? Oh, go ahead. I was just going to ask how many days.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask how many days that is, or if you have a period of how long that memorandum's good for. And then Monique has a question too.
Whatever I put that for.
Mm-hmm.
The memorandum is good until it's lifted. So, I mean, I will put whatever my contract is for, but no one can sell that property until my memorandum is lifted.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Monique, your turn.
And do you find that it's across the board the same in every state with the memorandum or Liz Pendens, or are there subtle changes or big changes that you have to make?
Oh, they're different across the board. Yeah. Every state.
how to do that.
Yeah, every state's different. Yeah, every state's different.
And there's different regulations that have to be followed, or
Mhm. Yeah, every state's different. Like in California, you have to have signatures and it's notarized. Here, you have to have it. You have to have, I have to have it notarized myself. It has to be notarized. The contract has to be signed by, obviously, the seller. But I have to get it notarized, the memorandum notarized by me. Texas is getting ready to change laws. I kind of stopped buying in Texas. I'm more so moved to like Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Those are really hot markets right now. I really like those because I can go in there and I'm kind of shifting to doing some. I've got some partners out there that are being able to buy some distressed type properties. When you can go in and buy a distressed property for 40, 50,000 and sell it to a fix and flipper versus here in Arizona, 300, 400,000, right? And you're making a small margin, but you can make a bigger margin in Georgia when you can buy a property for 50,000. Would you rather buy a property for 50,000 and be able to make a, 50, 60, $70,000 margin, or would you rather come to Arizona and spend 300,000 and make a $50,000 margin? I think I would rather just want to risk maybe $50,000 versus risk $300,000.
Right.
So a lot of people are moving to like Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, those type of markets. Definitely.
That's kind of Sharon's neighborhood over that direction. Because I know she's in Virginia and Pennsylvania. And all
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
So I know she's got a project she's working on right now.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
she's in Jamil's program with the wholesaling.
Astro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't you have the Astro Blaster, or did you?
I did have Astro Blaster, and then I ended up going to REI Reply. I had some issues with Astro Blaster, and then changed. Yeah. Do you have Astro Blaster, Sharon? No, you did. Yeah.
So I know a lot of investors like to invest in Ohio. Do you find that you mentioned that properties that are less expensive are a little bit easier, and if you're going to get the same amount of money, it makes sense to invest in those places? But are there other components or other criteria that you look for to go to different markets specifically, or that are your favorite markets, or do you just stick with that, or is it like, oh no, this one's hot and this is why it's hot, and so we're going to move here even though it's $300,000 property? Is there something that you follow in order to determine that kind of a concept?
Yeah, my favorite market is California. My favorite market.
Really? You never hear that. Everybody does not.
My favorite market
That's amazing.
is California.
I have to hear the why behind that.
Yeah, me too. We want to know the why.
Never heard somebody say that.
My favorite market is California.
Mm-hmm.
I think a couple of things. Obviously, it's foreclosures. So I love California foreclosures. I guess the price points that we see the foreclosures are probably somewhere around $500,000 to probably 1.5, somewhere in there. Okay. So we have a healthy buyers list. Okay. We have a healthy buyers list. We have a great buyers list. They want to do fix and flips there. And there's good spread. So when you have, I look at when I pull a list for like foreclosures and I'm looking for foreclosures, I don't just pull a foreclosures list. I pull a foreclosures list and I put a foreclosures list with an amount of equity in it. So I don't, you know how some people like, and I love Myron. Don't get me wrong. Everybody knows Myron, I imagine. Okay. So
Right.
like Myron, I love his LOI blaster, low equity, all of that. Not Mama. Mama here does not want to do low equity. Okay. Mama wants lots of equity.
Mhm.
So when we pull a list, we want high equity, because if we have to go and sell the house, we have to have a spread that we can make.
Right.
Not just me, but my investors have to have a spread that they can make. They're not going to go in and buy a house that doesn't have any equity. You can't sell those. Those are sitting on the market for 6 months, not selling. Pace doesn't even really want to buy those. Pace is buying them just to show people that they can be sold, right? Okay. But no one's really buying them.
Well, he's got the money to back that up and be able to carry those until he does find the right buyers. Where most people get into that, they're going to get into trouble if they're not careful.
Right.
No, too many.
Yeah.
Look at Kevin. Kevin had a whole portfolio of low equity sub 2 deals, and he couldn't even rent them out. So he sold them off. He had so many that were not renting, and he just sold his portfolio. And now Lorraine is liquidating left and right.
Mm.
So when you have all these low equity deals, they're not doing anything. You can't rent them. They're not cash flowing. You can't rent them. I don't want them. I want equity in the properties. So I love California for that reason, because you can find properties that have equity in them. And I love that. So the reason why I like Georgia and Ohio and all of that, I like those for like off-market distress type properties, which I just recently started targeting, not just foreclosures, but just started targeting off-market distress type properties. And that's why I kind of started having some of my VAs go try to find those properties, but also let's go talk to some agents and see if they'll throw us some off-market properties, and we'll help them.
Right.
We'll partner with them.
Well, like you said, the lower entry fee is easier for people, especially starting off. And if things do go bad, you should be able to even fix it up and make it a rental. Where if here in Phoenix, it doesn't make sense to make it a rental because yeah.
Have you personally, Stevie, do you hold any of the properties that you find yourself, or do you buy them yourself and fix them up and sell them? Or do you just like strictly you're getting them, you're giving them to a buyer, and you're moving on?
I do have a rental, and I had a rental that I was doing as a midterm rental, but even that that kind of was really hot and then not. And so I actually used to keep that one like completely rented, no problem. And then that started like going to the wayside, because what happened is that the traveling nurse industry, they started taking away all the high pay for those nurses. And so then I started going, okay, well, I'll take a look at some longer term renters, right? Mm-hmm. And so now I kind of go back and forth. And then I've gone where I've had some of those rooms not rented, where they've been vacant. And so generally in Arizona, I will say that I went with even having the summer months rented out, but this is the first summer that I didn't have the summer months rented out. So Yeah, I mean, it's generally in September you'll see a pickup in the furnish finders, inquiries. And even on furnish finders, it used to just be traveling nurses. Now you get everybody.
Right.
Now you get, I mean, Joe
Snowbird.
Schmo working as an Uber driver,
Yeah.
wanting to rent your room, you know?
Yeah. And snowbirds traveling through and stuff. I know we get on ours in Bullhead, we get the snowbirds or the traveling nurses, but ours has been more traveling nurses, but still we do get a lot of requests for snowbirds because they want to, but they don't want to commit to buying something. I think they just want to check out areas and see if they are going to buy, or they're just coming to visit family in an area. But those are always nice because they stay for several months versus the short term.
Yeah.
But then you got to furnish it and you're paying all the utilities and all that too. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, and you got to bottom right, I think, too, because otherwise, if it sits vacant, you're not going to make any money, and you're barely making money if you buy them high still, right?
Yeah.
This one, how long ago? The one that you rent out?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How long ago did you buy the one that you rent out for midterm?
2022.
Yeah. So you bought it at a good price. Right? Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But you're also, Stevie, going to be buying businesses, I hear, right? You're going to be going that
Yeah,
direction.
I did. I joined Zero Down 2.0. I started looking into Zero Down, and then, I was one of those that I have this problem of being a shiny panda person, That's how I was when I first started real estate. I was like, yeah, I want to do this, and then I want to do that, and then I want to do this. And I realized quickly that I need to really
focus. Yeah.
Yeah, I really did, because I was like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do multifamily. I'm going to do Burr. I'm going to do, and I was like, no, you're not. You're going to be broke before you know it, So I needed to calm down and really focus on single family, direct to agent. That's what I really focused on. And then I did shift my gears. I was with the the Milanazos for a while, and then I went off on my own.
Right.
And I'm super grateful for them and what I learned. And then I went off on my own. And the thing is too, when I went off on my own, I ate a lot of humble pie and learned a lot too. And it's all trial and error. I don't ever want to say that something was good or bad. If I can learn from something, it was great. It was awesome because I got to learn something, right? So I don't want to pass judgment of whether something was good or bad. It was definitely good if I can learn something,
And that's the best mindset you could possibly, instead of thinking, oh, I failed. Instead, what did I learn from this?
That's right.
Yes.
And how can I move forward? Those are such important factors in life, anything really.
Absolutely. And I don't want to do shit over the public. I'm sorry, say that again, Donna.
It definitely gets in your blood. I think there's people who think it's fun and they get in and then they're out of it really as fast as they got in, they got out. But then there's people like ourselves, all four of us ladies here, that it's been in our blood, and you got involved and you realize how much you enjoy this, even though it gets very difficult at times. It gets very stressful at times. You don't oh, I'm going on vacation, bye-bye, like you said, and just walk away from your job and your W-2. It's always there in the back of your mind and stuff. It's you're an entrepreneur. So you got to be willing to take the risks and move forward. And like Monique said, learn from the things, because we're all going to screw up. We all make mistakes, and being with these mentors has helped a ton, but we still make our own mistakes, and we still have to learn from that. And
I think it's helpful if we have partners, we work together, you learn from each other. I mean, some people think they need to do everything on their own and they want to keep it to themselves. But what happens with that is not everybody's a jack of all trades, number one. And number two, now you're learning everything and trying to do everything on your own instead of working as a team. When more brains can work together. And I think women do this really well. And I'm not saying men can't or don't, but I see more women just so easily collaborate. We just have that nurturing and natural tendency to want to be in partnerships and want to work together and help each other and just like walk through things together.
Yeah. My partner, Linda, like she's like, I always say like she's the integrator. Like she knows stuff. Like Linda, just go do that. Like I can't, Linda, I need you for this. Like, can you go do this? She's like really, really smart. She really is, you know. She's like seriously like a yin to my yang.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
Yeah.
She really is. She really is. And I know, like, listen, she is like, I am very out there. She's like, in fact, Lori, that's with the title company work, that she said to me yesterday, she goes, I don't know how y'all work together. We're just like this. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's Linda, and she's like very, very quiet and very. I said, it's a perfect match. It's a perfect, you know. So I've learned so much from working with her. And yes, there's times I want to pinch her head off. But trust me, I'm sure there's times she wants to throat punch me. You know?
Well, you have different gifts, you know, and being able to formulate those gifts together and know your lane and be gifted where you're gifted at and be able to have that freedom to allow somebody else to be gifted where they're at and put that together in a partnership, it just makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
And relief and everything else.
You can't be perfect at everything. You can't, I mean, it's hard to be just even really good at one thing, let alone trying to do all the aspects of a business. It's not feasible. It just makes so much more sense to, like you said, have a team and work together. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
And like Stevie, you found us our first sub 2 deal, and it pays us very good every month. And I don't know that I would have, well, number one, I wouldn't have found it. Number two, because you were out door knocking. You want to talk a little bit about your door knocking experience for people that are thinking about that?
I mean, you know, I just thought it would be fun to go door knocking, and there was a girl that I met her like through a meetup, Marisol, and then another one, Diana. They were Spanish speakers, and I thought, you know what? This area where we're going to be door knocking are Spanish speakers, and I need Spanish speakers. So let's go pound the pavement. Let's do it. Let's make some reels, right? And I don't even know what reels are at the time. My social media is really the worst. It really is. In fact, I don't have time for it. I'll hire a VA to do my social media. Okay. So I took Marisol with me, and we were checking out these leads, and we saw this lady. I said, that's the lead. That's the house right there. And the lady was having a yard sale. She goes, I don't think we should go. I said, this is the perfect time to go. She was sitting in her. And so the lady spoke Spanish. And so Marisol talked to her. And they, like I said, they were getting a divorce. And the ladies told Marisol that, you know, her husband's in the house. He's sleeping like he was hungover or something like that. And I was like, well, we're coming back, because he spoke English, you know. So we did, you know. And she said she told us that her husband just wanted to let go of the house and let it go into foreclosure. And we're like, oh no, we're not. She goes, I don't care what he does. It doesn't matter. We're going to just let him do. I said, no, you're not, because it'll affect you too.
Mhm.
And she said, no, I'll just sign it. I said, it doesn't matter what you think you're going to sign. It's going to affect you. And so she was translating everything. And so we got them together, even though they were like sitting at opposite ends of the table. And we got them together and got them to sign the contract and, did all the, then Diana came back and did most of the paperwork with me and stuff like that, because she was more experienced in that. And we got them to the table and did everything, and then got it to Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a divorce and a pre-foreclosure, both.
Oh yeah, they were definitely in foreclosure. They were going to let it go to foreclosure. I was like,
Yeah.
no, you're not. No, you are not.
And that's where like working together in these communities is so important, because he brought us the deal. We found the buyer through one of our guys we've been networking with.
Yeah.
He's actually become a partner in a lot of the deals that we do. And then he found the private money lender, and then we had to get him paid off. So through this community, we found another private money lender to step in until he just got paid. But he's all paid off now too. So, but yeah, it's just amazing when you
wrap the deal. The deal.
Yeah. So it's making really good money every month, and yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And just watch that account grow, and we'll just let's see what happens. So when he does,
take me out for a steak dinner.
Yeah. Wait, you made good money on this one. You take me out. But it was worth it. It was worth it. You pay for people to do a good job and bring you good deals, and it's as long as you're both making money, who cares, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every deal's different, right? Every deal's different. Some deals I'll make, I don't know. I think maybe the lowest. I don't know what the lowest deal is, but
well, that one we spent several months on in Crestview, Florida, we didn't make anything on, but we did get them out of the mold house and into a rental.
Yeah.
That was very time consuming. So
Do you have a criteria that you'd like to set? Say, okay, you might look at anything, but specifically, what do you like to see that, like, keep it, don't go lower than this, keep it in this range?
Are you talking about like a specific buy box or something?
Yeah.
No, I don't. If the numbers make sense, I mean, I have so many bird dogs, or they're saying they're bird dogs, but I have a lot of people coming to me saying that they're bird dogs, and I'll talk to them and I'll say, this is what I want you to go and do for me. And I'll be honest with you, I will say out of maybe 10, let's just say 10, 2 have actually been bringing me some deals. That's sad. Right? So, but that shows you the people who actually take action. Okay. But I really don't have necessarily a buy box if the numbers work, because you got to remember, my buyers are all over Investor Lift. I have a VIP buyers list. I know how to dispo a property, so I can find a buyer anywhere.
Right.
If the deal is good, I can go find a buyer. I know how to dispo a property. Mm-hmm. So it's not a set buy box.
Because you're not a get buyer. You're
exactly
working for all the end buyers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you have a specific fee that you'd like to stick with?
A big fat fee.
Right? Hey, Sharon has texted me since she can't talk. What is your best story and your best deal and your worst deal?
Ooh, my best assignment fee was $104,000.
Nice.
Ooh.
Was that on a single family?
Isn't that California?
That was my own. That was with my own company, and that was on a single family out in California.
Yep.
California.
And then my worst was I don't know, maybe.
Crestview?
What'd you say?
Crestview, Florida, where we didn't do. I mean,
Did we
got
make anything on that? Did we even sell that? I don't think we even.
Remember, we tried to hook her up with the short sale so she wouldn't have it go against her credit.
Oh yeah, we didn't make anything on that. I don't even consider that a deal because we didn't sell it. You know what I mean? We just sent it to short. We just sent it for a short sale. So I mean, just helping somebody, you know. No, because I just learned from that, you know, so that was still beneficial.
A nightmare one that took you
maybe 1,000, maybe, you know, something like that.
Nothing where you found a dead body, like what is it, the Bash Bros story? They have
no, but I will tell you that here's one that I'll tell you about. So there's this deal up in Cali, and there was this this lady, and this whole time I'm talking to her name was well, I won't say her name, but we'll call her Antoinette. Okay. We'll call her Antoinette. And so I'm talking to her the whole time, and like I knew that she was kind of like out there, right? Yeah. And so and there's a lot of them that are out there. But anyways, her name is Antoinette and stuff. And look, the houses that you get are like, they're trashed. I mean, they're just trashed, you know. I mean, like really, really bad stops and stuff. And so anyways, it was a foreclosure, and you know, I mean, I don't know why, like I don't know that like the pictures or something was really off, and my agent that I partner with out there and stuff went and got doc signed, and you know, got the DocuSign and all of this, and she was saying, you know, never said a word about Antoinette, never said a word, but just said, and never said anything about the house. Okay. And so then it was like, you know, we need you get packed because you've got to be out of there. And I'm serious, you've got to be out of there because we're closing and all this. And Antoinette just kept saying, you know, you just don't understand. You know, these people are going to come and get me. And I'm like, what do you mean they're going to come and get you? And they're going to attack you and just all of this stuff. And then started freaking out, like, you know, they're going to come and get me. I'm sitting out on the porch, I'm smoking, and these people are going to come and attack me. And then sends a picture, and Antoinette ends up being a guy. I guess it's a trans guy or something like that, which I had no idea, right? I did not know, but I mean, went into full like paranoid mode, and then I had to get a total. Is that Angie Milanazzo? Is it not?
Powerhouse.
Is that Dominic? So it's a powerhouse couple. It looks like their picture. But anyways, I had to get pictures of the house. The house was terrible. It was hoarder house. And I had to hire somebody to come and move them, right? And oh my God, Angie, I was just talking about you. I was just talking about you. But I had to take pictures I had to get a mover, and the mover said, I'll do it, and came out, and it was like a last minute mover, came out and took pictures. And there was like, he after he moved, he took pictures, and there was like just rat droppings and cigarette butts that she had dropped all over the floor, and it was so disgusting. I've never seen a house that disgusting, and I've seen some really gross pictures. I really have. Yeah.
Did you ever find out what she was smoking?
No cigarettes, but she was smoking with the rats.
Oh.
Yes, Angie, I was just telling them how you are the one that I met at the Growth Summit and started my little sub 2 career with you and the gang, and how grateful I was for y'all and how much love I have for you guys. I wish you were here. I love you. Yes, yes, yes. I love you. Tons. Always, always, always. My love goes out to you guys for sure. I love those guys, no doubt.
It was a good start. Good
Yeah.
people. Angie actually used to be on here with us on a regular basis.
Yes, I love them. They are fantastic.
Yeah, Angie.
In fact, I do dispositions for Angie's team now. I do dispositions for
cool.
Yeah, I do dispositions for them. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be here in October.
All right. Yeah, I do dispositions for their team.
Well, let's do a birthday celebration. We got Jim and Stevie's birthday in October. I don't know, maybe
October 9th.
it's the 7th. Yeah, you guys are really
I'm going to be
close.
29.
I love it. You're almost caught up to me.
We're getting close to the top of the hour, Stevie. So tell us if you have any other like advice for listeners, or what's the first step someone should take if they're wholesaling or doing foreclosure, whatever you choose to kind of chat about real quick and kind of give a quick little scenario. Do this, and
I would say definitely don't quit your job. I would say don't quit your job. The other thing I would say is definitely collaborate. I will tell you that, when I was with the Milanazos, one thing is that, I wish Angie was on earlier because, like I told you guys, that I ended up leaving and I ate a lot of humble pie. I wish you had heard that. That's funny. But yeah, collaborating, getting on with some people that really know what they're doing and stay with them, learn, collaborate, get with people because I did learn so much with them, but then I had ego and I really thought that I knew a lot more than I did. And the thing is that I didn't know as much as I thought I did. And so I really took a hit and I had to learn a lot more. And if I would have stayed with them, I would have gone faster, right? But like I said to you guys earlier, that, it's not about coulda, woulda, shoulda. And it's not about placing judgment of good or bad on something. As long as I learn something, it's a good thing, right? But I do look at those things and I think, well, what if? Well, guess what? I can't go backwards, but I did go forward and I learned and learned and learned. And there was no going backwards. So I just had to make the best of it. And I had to, I'm from Texas. So I had to, pull my bootstraps up and get with it and learn what I needed to learn. And that's what I did. And I am successful today. I, do make a good living, and I'm grateful for what, the Milanazos taught me for sure. And they did give me a good foundation, and I did have to get my ass in gear, or my butt in gear, and grow and go. And this community has helped me do that.
That was super great advice.
Yeah. Very good.
Well, I think we are at the top of the hour, and we absolutely enjoyed having you on today, Stevie. And you jumping in, Angie, was such a treat. So thank you for sharing, and we would love for you to come and guest host with us sometime, anytime you can. I'm sure we all agree about that one. And if there's nothing else, Tonda, we can kind of like say goodbye to our guests for tonight. Until
Thank
next.
you so much. Thank you so much. I'll definitely come back when the Milanazas are on. I'm gonna love that one. So
We can guess with Angie.
I love that. Love it. All right. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yes, Angie.
Yeah, her ears were burning.
100%.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.